My day starts at about 5:30 every morning, and I get up and have a quick shower and a shave, and I get into the kitchen about 6 o'clock. And I start prepping the eggs and the oats and the rice, and looking at the day's menu. And after breakfast, we pack up quickly and we jump into the car, and we're driving sometimes anything from 250 to 300 kilometers a day. I drive my own refrigerated kitchen truck with all my produce in for the guys. So yeah, you will get sometimes 2 o'clock at your next venue, and you have to jump into the kitchen, and every day the kitchen is different. Some days you get great kitchens, and the next day you get little dingy kitchens that you really struggle to get things done. On some days we can be 4 teams in a kitchen, and it can be difficult at times to get all the food out for all the teams together. So you have to plan, and your timing has to be critical. You got to make sure that the timing is perfect. The brief was wholesome food, fresh, wholesome, good quality basically, and every sportsman needs that to, of course, excel in the various sports. The nutritionist and the doctor do come to me about once a week. They do consult with the cyclist on how the meals have been, and what do they feel and what do I feel.
So the Grand Tours are pretty unique in that they're 21 stages long, so I mean they put massive demands on the riders. And what's really important is that you can get that rider to recover and be able to put out a good performance the following day, day after day after day. And we have to have very specific nutritional plans for all of our riders to make sure that they're getting all the necessary nutrients and that they can recover and be able to perform at their best day after day. Immediately as they cross the finish line, they're handed a recovery drink from High Five, which has some carbohydrates, but it's got a bit of higher concentration of amino acids and proteins. So that kickstarts the recovery process a little bit. And then as they get on the bus, they'll have a shower, and straight after that they're handed a full meal basically, which will usually be some sort of pasta or rice dish with a good protein source as well, and some sort of sauce for a little bit of flavor as well. So that's actually their main recovery meal, because it's the target is to get them to eat that within half an hour of finishing the stage.
Normally it's always rice, couscous or potatoes, and then a combination of fish or meat with high protein.
And then they'll have their dinner in the evening, which is actually less important than that meal that they've had on the bus. So that's just a top-up meal basically that they'll have in the evening.
They also get lots of rice, basmati, a little bit of vegetables, but everything needs to be well cooked. It's difficult for me coming from 4-star, 5-star hotels and cooking everything that it's still al dente, and the riders want everything to be overcooked because it's easier for the body to digest.
So the guys will then try and avoid anything too spicy or any fancy foods. They'll stick to what they know and keep it simple with a carbohydrate source, a good protein source, which is usually either chicken or fish, sometimes meat as well, and then some vegetables as well. So with in-race nutrition, I mean, there's a few different tactics, and some athletes are more partial to one than the others. So the guys will try and eat mostly whole food, like real food that's prepared by the soigneurs the day before. The favourite are little rice cakes, so it's white rice that's been cooked up and made into a little cake and flavoured with some cinnamon or some honey or something else. And so the riders will be eating that during the stage. They've also got bars from High Five in different flavours, which are made from all natural ingredients, and that gives them a little bit of a faster release of energy. And then the gels they'll generally use nearer the end of a stage if they want a sudden burst of energy. And those are concentrated sugars basically.
When we hand out the feedbacks, they will get 2 different bars, 2 different gels, one without, one with caffeine, a Coke for direct sugar and caffeine, and then 2 or 3 different cakes, rice cake and a very sweet cake, or a chicken sandwich, like very small piece. So they can choose what they need after 100 kilometers.
Last year's Tour de France was incredibly hot. I mean, riders were 40-degree plus for a few days in a row in the early part of the tour. This year hasn't been quite as hot, but there have been a few days that have been pretty hot. And so when athletes are under that sort of heat stress, they obviously lose a lot more fluid than they would normally, and they're losing electrolytes in that sweat as well. So High Five's our nutrition sponsor, and we've got two different drinks from them. The one is just pretty much a standard energy type drink with a carbohydrate drink. And the other is a little less concentrated in terms of the energy it supplies, but it supplies a bunch of electrolytes as well. So it's more a rehydration drink that the guys will use as well.
So a rider starts with 2 bottles on the bike, then he gets 2 bottles in the feedback, and also they take probably 4 to 6 bottles depending on the weather situation.
So on a rest day, they're going to try and not overeat, because they're not burning as many calories obviously as they would normally. So they'll adjust the intake day by day, and we'll advise them on this as well.
You have to gauge what the guys are going to have on certain days, depending on the climb and how long their day has been and what time they get back to the hotel. They love dessert. Ice cream, the favorite dessert of the tour. Pistachio. Ice cream sometimes very difficult to source, but we have managed to get some. So I always make sure that when I get to our new hotel that we will be staying over, that I go directly to the chef to ask if he does have any pistachio ice cream, and if not, we'll see if we can source from one of the local markets or supermarkets in the area. But yeah, pistachio definitely.
How was your day?
Long.
Long.
Too long. I woke the chickens up this morning. I'll wake the chickens up tomorrow morning also.